think me and my teammates, we have potential to beat everyone in this tournament. We believe in ourselves and we want to show it on the pitch. We'll pass the group stage and we will see what happens in the knockout stage, hopefully.
Los objetivos es aspirar a lo máximo, ya que representamos al Fútbol Club Barcelona, que siempre tiene que aspirar a lo máximo, y eso es lo que haremos. Significa que tenemos que esforzarnos mucho, trabajar mucho, motivarnos entre nosotros y intentar hacer lo mejor posible, sabiendo que todos los rivales van a ser muy duros.
Right, well, there you have it. It will be both Galatasaray and FC Barcelona in action for the second time today. Galatasaray, the Turks, have had a little bit of downtime to get themselves prepared for this one. The Catalans have had no time at all to waste as they head into yet another game for them. So let's see who's going to be in action for the two respective sides. And it's going to be Kepa. You may remember at the early stages of the day, he actually started off with a loss, a heavy-handed defeat, in fact, 4-1 in that game. And normally it's him, the one who's doing the demolition job. So talking about demolition jobs, he's going to be up against the Palma, the one who scored 7 goals in his game. And if all goes well for him, he could be at the top of the scoring charts with double digits by the end of the day. So guys, having said that, in the case of Kepa, he'll really have hoped to have reconfigured himself, given a different approach to this game, because if not, he could be on the receiving end of yet another lashing.
Semra, it's a good thing that eFootball is not played on paper, because, yeah, we could be running out of the score sheet if the previous results or anything to go by. I think Kepa will be keen to bounce back after his result earlier on. I don't think he wants to be known for that kind of performance. He definitely wants to try and catch the rest of the competition off guard. And I tell you what, it's going to be a tough test, because the Palmer looks like a really tough player to play against this season. He looked the same last season in the first half. So he'll be hoping he gets the second half of the Palmer instead of the first, because so far he's looked absolutely mesmerizing, Wes, the Palmer, and he's going to be a tough opponent, I think, here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the tricky part, is it's not just Barcelona you're playing against the Palma. So it's like you basically have got it with both barrels. You have a very skillful player that has a lot of skillful weapons. We talked about Dembele, we talked about Ansu Fati, we talked about Pedri, we talked about Aubameyang, Depay. The list of names goes on for this Barcelona team, and for the Palma to have those players to call upon, it's going to be very difficult for a Galatasaray side to keep them under control for a long period of time. But as we've said, the great equalizer in this is the actual players controlling the actual players. So Kepa, yes, his first appearance today probably fell way below his standard that he's expecting. But that doesn't mean that that's the end of the job. If anything, he will probably be more, what's the word I'm looking for? He'll be more galvanized to go, right, I need to put a better performance in here. And this is the perfect time to do it.
It certainly is. When you look at the two sides at this moment in time, Barcelona, we saw just previous Wes as we get ready to kick off this first game. Barcelona looked pretty good with the Palmer's result in game 1 to pick up more than they actually did in terms of points. Ended the match against Arsenal with 4. Galatasaray, thanks to the win from Mujahid, the captain, earlier on, sits just behind them in the group on 3 points. This is a big game for both of these clubs. A big match, it has to be said, as we kick off game 1.
Yeah, this will really set the tone for this entire tie, and also for the group as well. With the group being so tightly contested at the moment, every point is now vital.
So we kick off then. Galatasaray versus Barcelona. Going to be very important for Kepa after his 4-1 defeat to AS Roma earlier. Make sure his dream team is set up properly. Of course, clubs in this competition limited to 2,300 rating. And when you look at that, you have to say that Barcelona, again, on paper, and it's a lucky thing that eFootball isn't played on paper, would have the stronger items, so to speak, Wes, but thanks to the ability to power up and level up these items within Dream Team, that makes Galatasaray a real force now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we saw the likes and we heard from Mukahit in terms of how important Bafétimbi Gomis is to this side. There's a very good reason for it. You know, it goes up to, I think it's almost like an 87 or 88 overall, which is an incredible forward to have in your kind of repertoire. It's just whether you can make the players around him as good to get the chances to him.
Bounced through to Aubameyang there, Wes. Sorry to cut you off, but that looked like a really good chance for the Palmer. He's already scored 7 today. Just one more is needed, might I remind you all at home, for him to top the top scorers chart for FC Barcelona. Very much returning to the form we saw of him from last season. Pedri trying to feed Aubameyang, though. It's going to be important for Kepa here to make sure that he stays in this game to the latter stages. We saw against Arsenal, the Palmer was just running riot. It was 1-2, it was 3-4 in quick succession. So can't allow that same fate to besiege you now. Here is Dembele on the near side. Palmer starting to grow into this game. Memphis Depay gets his strike away, and I think it strikes against his own man there. Aubameyang took a cheap shot inside the box. Here is Gomis, though, turning the wrong way. And Pedri is back there to recover the ball.
Yeah, you can see just slowly the kind of almost the torch paper and the gaslight kind of moving up through the gears here and getting slightly hotter as time goes on here. I think looking at kind of the way the Palmer has come out here, I think he's a little bit probably surprised by the physical nature of this Galatasaray defence. But again, he has to be careful not to give the ball away in advanced positions, because a player like Kepa will make you pay.
That he will. Galatasaray fans would have been very happy when they saw him announced as part of the club for this season. And here he is on the ball now. The target man's always going to be Bafétimbi Gomis. He tries to cross it into the aforementioned striker, but well diffused by FC Barcelona. And the Palmer is so good at that, not only diffusing the situation, but turning defence into attack. Been a fairly open first half of game one here, Wes. Not a lot of stoppages, so been very free-flowing, and it may continue that way as Gomis gets his stunning strike away. Straight to Neto, but the second chance is tucked away 10 minutes before half-time. Galatasaray strike first, 1-0.
And this is the gamble you take, guys, in terms of your team selections. If you're not putting your starting goalkeeper in goal for maybe the reasons of having more team strength to work with further down the pitch, you're going to get more parries out. We saw it a lot with Urright yesterday from Barcelona. The same could be said here for Neto. It's a great stunning strike, and it's the smartness to take it from there and take it early on from Kepa. Again, an advancing player for the ricochet, pops it back in for the goal. And that there in itself is showing you the kind of the complexities of what these players are thinking of. If you could easily take that on and try and dribble, but maybe you'll look at Gomis, think he's too slow, he's going to get caught by De Jong or Araujo. Oh, we're back straight into the game here.
Yeah, we've already kicked off following the goal, and well, I believe we were actually looking at a replay from earlier on, so we haven't. Don't worry. Your eyes don't deceive you. We haven't rubbed some time off of the clock, and it's Kepa who's won the ball back immediately following the goal. Looking for that 1-2 punch that we said moments previous that the Palmer was able to put into effect against Arsenal moments previous. It's going to be interesting to see now how the Spaniard is able to recoup and recover himself after going behind. It's going to be the first time to see that. Here is Memphis Depay. That's a dangerous deflection. Will loop over for just a corner.
Yeah, another key man to keep your eyes on if you're a Galatasaray fan is Marcao. I can only describe him as a Goliath centre half who will throw his body into place and make sure that shots will not reach their goalkeeper. But he has given Barcelona a corner.
Corner driven in, and there is that man you mentioned. It's going to be difficult to get past him. A real brick wall at the back for the Turkish giants. Palmer here, happy to keep possession. Half-time rapidly approaching, so wants to keep that ball in an attacking phase. Ansu Fati looking for an opening. Who's that arriving? Will come to Dembele in the end. This will be the last attack of the half. Depay trying to slide it through all the way to Dembele. But he's just overrun it, and first half will end. Galatasaray 1, Barcelona 0, Wes, and this was not in the script for the Catalan club.
No, but I suppose to kind of go with what we were saying before, Kepa will probably want to show his proper level. And I say proper level with no disrespect to his opponent in the first game, but you know, we have become accustomed as fans, as supporters, as viewers of seeing a particular play style from Kepa that lends itself to being on the front foot. So to see him come back in, get himself a goal, and utilise the squad that he has around him and not try and fall into this cookie cutter almost formation and play style is great to see.
So the second half kicks off in game 1 of our third match today. Kepa attacking from left to right for Galatasaray. Clearly senses that he needs an extra goal to make this one certain. As the Palmer's coming forward, that's a lovely ball all the way through to Dembele, and it's pushed wide. Corner still to come, and maybe that's the first sign of frustration we're seeing coming out of the Palmer there, who is usually very cool.
It's a big save from the goalkeeper, but again, you know, to cast your minds back to, you know, the ghosts of gaming past, we've seen Kepa pull off some unbelievable saves with manual goalkeeping, both for club and for country. So it's not a surprise there to see another one be added to the scrapbook.
Corner to Depay. Feinting and dummying, but defended well by this Serbian Kepa. Just trying to find that real gilt-edged opportunity. Has afforded so much time and space, and you can see why, because Kepa comfortable in defence. Depay, oh, that's a lovely ball all the way through, and Aubameyang is there, and that is absolutely phenomenal. It's Aubameyang again, and it's the goal that sends the Palmer to the top of the top goal scorers charts after match day 1. It's 1-1 and he's not done yet.
Yeah, and it's a well-worked goal. It's waiting to see where the gaps were appearing in that Galatasaray defence. And you'll see it's a brilliant ball. I mean, there's acres of space in between that the centre half and the left back. And again, it's a cut across. It's the percentage chance there. Some people may look at home and go, why didn't he just take it on and shoot? If you have a pass on, you're going to use the pass, and it's there for all to see the reasons why. A great equaliser from the Palmer. Does put himself alone at the top of the goal-scoring charts, which, as a personal accolade, I'm sure he'll be delighted to have.
Absolutely. In the short term, though, it has to be said, he is much happier to be back in this match. 1-0 down. Back on level terms now. It'll be interesting to see what the reaction is, though, from Kepa, because he was leading for the majority of that first half. Here we are now with the Palmer, who he's already seen score 7 today. Back on level terms. It's, as I said, going to be intriguing to see what kind of reaction we see from Kepa to come off of this kickoff. Coming forward now. There's confirmation of his 8th goal of the day. Has some defending to do here, though. I tell you what, he defends well. But the ball is coming straight back at his own defence. 8 goals in one match day, though, Wes. It's impressive. It's difficult to do at this level of competition, but that speaks volumes as to how skillful he is as a player, but not only that, how well this Barcelona team suits his play style as well.
Yeah, it's knowing, as I said earlier, it's half the battle knowing your squad. It's then the other half of the battle is going out and executing, and the Palmer, for his money today, has been absolutely superb. You know, again, the 7 goals that he scored against Arsenal, the extra one he's got here, and again, this game is tightly balanced here. 1-1, 60 minutes gone. There's still enough time for substitutions. There's still enough time for more goals as well. So let's just see how this pans out.
And there is confirmation, alone at the top of the mountain. Is there any more to come, though? He'll be hoping for more, to get more than just a single point out of this game as things stand. And while the spotlight certainly is on the Palmer right now, we have to remember his adversary in the game. Kepa has pulled off some great results in the past himself and will want to try and make amends for the Turkish club after his performance earlier on. Into the feet of Aubameyang. Will retain possession here. Just stepping up there with the super cancel was the defender, but second bite of the cherry goes well, and that's a nice turn. Can Memphis Depay get there first?
It's getting a bit scrappy here, Harry.
It is indeed. Switch of the play will maybe just neutralise things for now and turn them in Barcelona's favour. Aubameyang in support. Just taking so much time here, and that's a late challenge. And the referee, I think he's given a penalty here, Wes. And it is. You heard Kepa's reaction there. He can't believe the referee's given a penalty there. Would have loved to have seen a replay to see exactly where the infraction occurred. But the Palmer won't mind one bit. He's got a penalty to try and tuck away now, I should say.
I'm sure we'll see one in the highlight package afterwards.
Here we go. Depay goes left and scores for Barcelona. It's 9 on the day for the Palmer, and it could be a crucial one to secure another 3 points. Oh, and it's just over the line, isn't it?
Well, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure by the rules of football is that if it's on the line, it's in the box, and that would make it a penalty. And again, it's a late challenge. It falls into that category of he's got there as fast as he could. But unfortunately, the ball had gone, so it's going to be given as a penalty by the referee. Again, we've seen challenges given and not given on this match day in and of itself. So again, another one maybe for the referees to look back on and think maybe they could have done a far better job there.
Goal number 8 for the Palmer. He's got Traore now recently introduced, and the problem is for Kepa and for Galatasaray, they have to commit bodies forward now. It is Barcelona 2, Galatasaray 1. It's been scrappy. It's been the type of affair we really expected, to be honest. Kepa wanting to make amends for earlier on, and Palmer has taken a few minutes, a few moments in this game to step up the gears, but he's reminded us what he can do when he does so. Here is Braithwaite. Traore using his strength incredibly well. Can he fire a cross across the box? The answer is no, but a corner is won. '85th minute now. Blocked well at the first time of asking. Depay looking for Braithwaite. That's a great ball. Tries to cut inside as well. Goalkeeper needed. Galatasaray living very dangerously indeed, and they've given the ball away again here. Adama Traore to kill off some time, but he's given the ball away. And how fatal could that be? Gomes here for Kepa, trying to cut inside and has won the ball back. Last chance saloon for Galatasaray in game one. Ball is cleared by Barcelona, but it will come straight back at them. Another block there. The ball has to go forward here, or the referee will do exactly what he's just done. The game will finish. An amazing comeback from the Palma. It's Barcelona 2, Galatasaray 1. Here are the stats. It was dominant when you look at this screen where it's from the Palma, but it ends just the 2-1.
Yeah, if you go by the stats, you would certainly say that, you know, the Palma had all of the chances and had all of the possession, and it did take a fair few manual saves from Kepa to even keep it to 2-1. But hopefully we'll get another look at this penalty. But again, to start off the scoring, Kepa takes the lead. Again, we talked about how good that was to take that shot and to force the parry from Bafétimbi Gomis to then get it tucked away for 1-0. And again, it became a little bit more cagey and a bit more kind of ratty, as it were, from a gameplay standpoint, because I don't think anybody wanted to make a mistake. But,
well, this is it, Wes. We see this goal to make it 1-0, and then for the, as you said, majority of the rest of the game, it was very scrappy, and we thought maybe it might play into the hands, or into the feet, I should say, of Galatasaray. That would have been the type of game at 1-0 up that Kepa would have relished, but here we see another chance carved open by Barcelona. It's got to be an impressive show of resiliency, hasn't it, from the Palma? Obviously, it's great when you're winning 7-1 against the likes of Barbuxa and Arsenal, but I think he'll be, as we see the equalising goal, incredibly happy that he was able to prove his mettle in those comeback games as well.
I think it would be almost a bit of a relief. I mean, you know, we can talk about the penalty award and the penalty decision. It was certainly, you know, it wasn't going to be something he was not going to take. But the decision in and of itself, it was fortuitous. It's, you know, you could say borderline controversial in its entirety. But I think looking at it, I think the Palma will just be happy to have kind of got out of jail and got those 3 points. As you can see, the relief etched all over his face.
Yeah, huge relief there for the Palma. He comes back to win against Kepa there, Semra. 3 points more for Barcelona.
The Palma rattling some trees, isn't he, today, with such an impressive start to the campaign. Absolutely a perfect record thus far. 2 wins, 9 goals. He's now at the top of the goal-scoring charts in his own right and leads by 2 goals. So let's go ahead and take a look then. There you have it right there. The Palma leading the way. He's just 1 shy of hitting double digits. Surely that will happen next week, and I'm sure we'll see that. But most impressively, 7 goals in 1 game, 2 in another game. So there you have it. Everybody else, Mestre, 7 goals for him as well. That was from yesterday. Nobody's been able to come close though. Lotfi kills you, 4 goals for them as well. The same with Eldridge O'Neill and Urma. Urma is the only player in action for today that has come close, if you can say that. But he's still 5 goals adrift from the Palma, who's very much sitting pretty at the top of the lot. So having said that, let's go ahead then and see what is in store for game 2. See if we can see more goals and victories for either of these 2 respective sides. And it looks as though it's going to be Mujahid, the captain for Galatasaray. Probably good timing for him to feature as well, considering he's the only player for the Turks so far to have won a game, not just in match 1 against a very formidable AS Roma and just by the smallest of margins, but he's the only player to have won overall so far for them. And he is going to be up against Alex R, the youngster who is still yet to prove himself, still looking in search of his first victory, his first goal of the day so far. So I get a feeling that maybe perhaps this one could be a very tight encounter, a close encounter between these 2.
Yeah, I think you're right in saying that. I think that Alex Sarr earlier on against Arsenal, going up against Venom, he would have been frustrated by the way he was unable to break the deadlock, couldn't quite put the pieces together in the puzzle that he needed to, Wes. This one could be a very similar type of situation. We said Mujahid earlier on, if you cast your mind back to match one, it was a fair while ago now, game 3 against Gagliardo. Strong defensive presence on the pitch. And if Alex Sarr kind of runs into those same stumbling blocks that he did in game 2 against Venom, it could be a very similar type of frustrating experience for the young man from Barcelona.
Yeah, it could become almost a perfect storm for Galatasaray in terms of, Mujahid's incredible rear guard action, but then also from what we saw from Alex Sarr earlier in terms of that inability to kind of convert chances. If he can sort that out, if he can get that facet of his game down and start to convert those chances, we'll stop talking about him as, oh, well, he hasn't got any goals or he hasn't got any points yet. We'll sit there, or at least he's got the 1 point, but we'll sit there and go, well, actually, he's now picking up wins, he's now picking up goals, and I think that's still there for him to come. That's not something that is going to go away. He will eventually score, he'll eventually get his first win, and then that will almost be kind of a weight off his shoulders. But again, in terms of the kind of the story of the game, as it were, you're up against the opposition's team captain. He's already come into the firefight and has got himself and his team a victory. So it's going to be a difficult one for him to do. So again, it's just going to be a case of what version of each team turns up here.
Well, we say thank you very much to Semra in the studio, keeping us ticking along, and of course keeping you and I, Wes, out of trouble. Game 2 is underway. It's now time to see Alex Sarr and Mujahid go head-to-head. It's the former attacking from left to right and in possession right now. With Fatih, he actually gets a strike away in the most unsuspecting manner here. I'm not sure quite how many people in the stadium were expecting that strike to be going through, but it's high, wide, and not very handsome.
Yeah, you can see already just trying feints, trying dummies, trying to just unsettle that back line. I think the ball went through defender's legs there, so I think it was slightly fortuitous that it even made its way to goal. So again, already some green shoots for Alex Sarr to work with, but he's got to be careful because Mujahid is deadly when boxed into a corner.
Very much so, and we speak about players that are suited to their clubs. Mujahid probably one amongst that conversation. Gomez, lovely touch, and oh my word, that is absolutely phenomenal. It's as if we predicted it. So suited to this club. When you spoke to him before, Wes, he said, Gomez, he's a strong finisher, he's a key man for us, and he's on the score sheet here against Barcelona.
Back him into a corner at your peril. This is the player you want in this type of scenario. Somebody who knows the team inside out. As you know, I believe he's the only returning player from Galatasaray from the previous season. So he has that knowledge already, and he stops himself beautifully. Doesn't take a touch out, just stops himself still, takes the controlled shot, and gives himself the lead. And it's this almost inherent and intangible quality that Mujahid has, where get himself ahead. And now we'll probably see a defensive-minded performance.
Well, I'd hate to read into the mind of Alex Sarr at this point, but I think it's fair to say it will be weighing quite heavy on his conscience that he has yet to break his duck in this competition with over 100 in-game minutes now under his belt. He would love to change that. But you'd have to say, Wes, the longer that timer keeps ticking up towards the 90 and the longer Alex Sarr goes without breaking that duck, it's going to be more and more pressure mounting on his shoulders.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a case of, the more we speak about it in the studio, the more we speak about it on commentary, the more it's going to kind of really start to potentially play on his mind a little bit. So, not that we're trying to put the players off at any point, but it's certainly a talking point that's there for us to have.
The players, of course, can't hear us, but if Mujahid could, he would hear nothing but praise from us so far. Coming so close here, Wes, to doubling his lead, and He's looking absolutely venomous up top.
Yeah, he's looking like he's at it today. He looks like he's absolutely banging at it, and you can see from the reaction, he knows how important these chances are going to be, especially for a team like Galatasaray, who are on the back foot and who need to continue to score goals and continue to get points.
In the final third, once again, is the Galatasaray captain, Mujahid, who already has 3 points to his name this season, taking down Gagliardo in our first match of the day in game 3. A 2-1 scoreline that time. Very close indeed. But so far, so good. And it has to say, in the opening 20, it's looking fairly comfortable. Has dealt with most of what Alex R has presented him in an attacking sense. There's confirmation. 3 goals on the day for the captain. And a shot maybe knowing that there was nothing else doing on that attack, Wes. Just to, I don't know, maybe pad the stats a little bit there from Mujahid.
Well, I think there's a little bit of that maybe, or as we've seen from a lot of these players, a lot of them are trying first-time dummies. So I think the first input that you hit is the shoot button. If you don't remember to press the additional button that goes with it, it's just going to shoot for you. So I think that's why we heard the audible groan where he's like, I didn't quite do that the way I wanted to do it. And I think that, you know, as we said, super cancels, dummies, the double touches, everything is kind of becoming that much more important.
Oh, speak of the devil, double touch from Fatih almost results in a goal. Taking a look at the club's stats, you can see 10 goals scored, 8 of those, by the way, from the captain of Barcelona. But it's only the wins that matter at this point in time. Here is Bafétimbi Gomis for Galatasaray, and it's 2! It's him again! 2 for Gomis, 2 for Mujahid. 2-0 for Galatasaray.
Yeah, it's almost like a match made in heaven, Mujahid and Galatasaray at this point. And again, it's that talisman. It's that guy that we spoke about. It's that guy that Mujahid spoke about how key he is to this attack. It's Bafétimbi Gomis, and it's a brilliant finish, in truth. It allows the ball to run across him, allows him to get into position for the strike, and it's a brilliant finish and leads 2-0.
Well, that's a great angle of it. Very happy with how he's played so far. On the other side of things, Alex R struggled to hit the ground running for Barcelona. And this is one of the intriguing things, Wes, and I hate to put Alex R on the hot seat like this. I'll come back to my point as he threatens to break his duck in the competition. The change in the eFootball Championship Pro this season, of course, no more 3v3. It is now 1v1. As De Jong gets across in, the header is there. And it's one back for Barcelona. An incredible cross. And a header to match. Alex R is on the board, 2-1.
Yeah, we spoke about him a lot. We spoke a lot about how important Aubameyang is to any side in esports. It's perfect. It's a brilliant, stunning cross into the box, nestled into the back of the net. Fantastic header. You can see Mujahid was expecting his defenders to maybe clear that or get ahead of things, but instead it's fallen to Alex R, who is now on the board. That's one proverbial monkey off your back. Now it's time to maybe try and get the other one off and try and secure a victory.
How will that goal change the complexion of this first half? There's only 5 in-game minutes to go, but Gomis is causing the Barcelona defence all types of problems. He's won himself a free kick here too. And we've already seen 1 free kick goal scored today. Would it be too greedy to ask for a second? He's going for it, and it's in! Call me greedy, I don't care. And Galatasaray won't either. The 2-goal lead reinstated in a flash. Galatasaray up by 2 again.
Yeah, I mean the hit isn't necessarily the cleanest. I mean it's enough to go into the back of the net, but you've maybe got to ask questions of the keeper there. The fact that the keeper just doesn't even go for it. But it nestles into the bottom corner. And again, as we said before, you know, teams are not going to mind how these goals are scored so long as they go into the back of the net. They are not going to matter a jot. It's 3-1 to Galatasaray, and they're on the attack again here.
Oh, Gomez is giving chase. And I did ask the question moments previous how that goal would impact the rest of this first half. It impacted it in a positive way. A great response from Muchahit. Final attack as well as we're into the second of 2 minutes added on, and Muchahit is very much on the warpath here as the first half will come to a close. That, by the way, Muchahit's 5th goal of the season so far. Alex R, I think maybe at some point as we take a look at this free kick again, I'm a sucker for a set piece goal, Wes. Alex R will be thinking, okay, well, what do I need to change now? Because it looked like I was going to come back into this game, but obviously the quick response from Muchahit has kind of denied any comeback just for now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've now got to try and mentally reset yourself after conceding a goal that you probably didn't anticipate. And I think how difficult this is for Alex at the moment is that, yes, he's been devoid of goals. He's only scored 1 so far. But you've got to find something. You've got to find a change. You've got to find something within your kind of personal weaponry that you've got to summon up here. But again, it's going to be harder and harder, especially against the likes of somebody like Muchahit, who has been, you know, in and around the scene for quite some time. It's an experienced player. It's not somebody that's just going to give you anything and give you any quarter. Instead, it's something you're going to have to work for.
You can see Muchahit with that goal creeping now into the top 3, giving chase to the likes of Matchday and the Palmer. And here is Gomez again. It could be even more. It's off the crossbar. Very close indeed to, again, creeping towards that top 2.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's slowly creeping up, and you can hear the groan from him because he knows how close that was. However, though, I think if you were to ask him, I think at any stage, whether he would prefer to be kind of getting up in the goal scoring tables or whether he'd like Galatasaray to be further up the table, I know which one he'd probably pick, and it would probably be for his team. But as a personal accolade, it's great to see him be so far up the table, but he'll want his team to be up the table as well.
Look at that. Taking some risks now, experimenting with some of these long balls. He is an absolute credit to Galatasaray. Again, repaying the faith in his second-year captaincy with the Turkish club. Now has been on international duty for Turkey as well. A proud moment it would be to be in and around the conversation of the knockout stages for this club come the end of Matchday 2 next weekend. For now, though, still the job to do against Barcelona. It has been mostly one-way traffic, though, Wes. It's Muchahit looking comfortable, and it's Alex R looking a little bit nervy out there.
Yeah, and that's the issue you've got here, is that if Muchahit settles into a rhythm and a method, I mean, he's just picked up a very cheap free kick there, but if he settles into that rhythm, it's very hard to shake out of it. And it's in relatively same real estate that we saw the first free kick going. It now could be possible that we could potentially see a second one.
We'll take a little listen to what the teams have to say.
Who's out? Guys, what do you say?
You can hear Galatasaray having the conversation within themselves, Wes, of whether or not to sub Gomez.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. Do you take off the guy that's got you the goals, or do you leave him on as an aerial threat more than anything else?
He's too offensive now.
The inquest on the Barcelona side is, do you play 3 at the back? You kind of have to switch to it at this point because time is ticking down and you're still facing this free kick.
It's harder to run over it.
Turan over the ball, and it's through the wall.
Coming on the field.
Goalkeeper called into action. It's yet more pressure from the Turkish club.
Substitution in progress.
Corner swung in, driven in towards Babel at the back post. And it looks like the conversation as to whether or not Gomes will survive the substitutes has turned out that he will be elected to stay on the pitch here for the Turkish club, and why not? He's been a real talisman for them.
Yeah, I think if you're Galatasaray, you want to keep him on the pitch, even if he's very tired. You still want to keep him on there as a focal point for the attack. It doesn't necessarily need to be the runner that you need. It's maybe just the physical presence and almost as a kind of a redundant idea here. Maybe as a lamppost just to bounce the ball off of, and that's maybe where Galatasaray's thought process is.
Oh, you could see there Alex R was waiting to find the runner, but the defensive cover off the ball from Mujahid is why we always laud him as a defensive mastermind, always watching runners, never caught watching the ball. It'll be a free kick though, but with 15 in-game minutes left, time is running out for Alex R here to get his first win, or even his first points of the season. I should actually retract that because, of course, it was 0-0 earlier on against Venom. So 1 point to his name already, and Traore is here trying to make things happen for Barcelona, but Alex R stopped in his tracks once more.
Yeah, the more that time ticks over, the less and less you've got to try and correct the situation. And again, looking here, you can see runners in the middle there. Babel trying to pick them all out.
Oh, divine intervention there. Needed to be done. They were queuing up, and the possession stat there, 61% for Galatasaray. Corner here as well. It's so dangerous. Referee says another spot kick over in the corner. Driven in once more, and it's so dangerous, but somehow evades absolutely everyone. There was a crowd in there, but evades all of them. And it's just been one of those days, hasn't it, from Alex R? You see him laughing there. He knows that could be a mistake that could cost him the opportunity to come back into this game, as it's now a Galatasaray throw with, well, less than 10 in-game minutes to go, Wes.
Yeah, I think the right smile there is more from a sense of he probably feels as though everything that he could possibly try and do just hasn't worked for him here, and maybe that's a little bit of frustration that's crept in. But again, if you're Barcelona taking away the positives here, you can at least say he's on the board from a goal scoring point of view. So it's just a case he's come up against a very, very canny operator in Mujahid.
He has played wonderfully today. 2-1 earlier against Gagliardo to give his team, his club, their first points of the season. It's going to look like 3 extra points here. 2 wins out of 2 if it stays this way. But for now, Alex R trying to get one back at the very least. Traore straight up. Muslera, is there anyone there to follow it in? I don't think so, and it'll be a goal kick to add insult to the injury as well. Three minutes added on, and it's a formality at this point that the Turks will be taking the points after the game 1 result, 2-1 to Barcelona. It's a precious 3 points here for Galatasaray.
It'd be a massive, massive 3 points. And again, it's Mukahit recovering for his entire team here. Fantastic result for Galatasaray there.
Well, to make it official, here are the statistics. Galatasaray 3, Barcelona 1, 4 goals. And an incredible performance. All the plaudits have to go to Mujahid. He has been on point today for Galatasaray. The captain stepping up in a big way. But I think on the Barcelona side of things, Alexar will be not happy with his performances. It's been a tough day for that young man, and we'll have to wait until next weekend now to bounce back.
Yeah, and he'll certainly have food for thought with how he performed today, as well as how his team has performed. But as we saw here, Bafétimbi Gomis showed up to the party once more for Mukahit. You can see the frustration that was there from Alex Art. Just couldn't quite get it. It's the fact that he stops and then doesn't make the next move. I think it's that, again, that small little detail in changing the way that you perform, or changing the idea that you've got. It's another brilliant finish there from Gomis. That it allows you that freedom to be able to be free of what the opponent is anticipating. And don't forget, some of these players may have practiced with each other previously to maybe potentially get prepared for this type of event. But ultimately, it's all about what they are used to and how they. I mean, it's a great finish there to get one back for Alex, but just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, you see here the stunning cross and the header to match. It seemed like at that point where it's 2-1 down, there was signs of life for Barcelona, but for the canny free kick of Mujahid, secures 3 goals, 3 points, and a resounding win in game 2 of this 3-game match against Barcelona for Galatasaray. Semra, what a result there for the captain.
What a result, and what a commanding performance from him as well. It seems as though Mujahid really does have the golden touch, doesn't he? Because those 6 points that Galatasaray have to their name, they really should have the asterisk next to it, because it should be in his name. He's the only one to put those 6 points on the board, to keep the Turks alive in this contest, and to give them a fighting chance of getting out of the group stage. So we will see, though, of course, what is in store for this final third game. As it stands, Barcelona 7 points, AS Roma 6, Galatasaray 6, Arsenal 4. So still very, very tight with just the 3 points between all 4 of those teams in Group B. As it stands with the goal-scoring charts, La Palma, 9 goals for him. Certainly has been a fabulous day for him in his opening day of the season, followed by Mestre, who scored all 7 of those goals yesterday. Mujahid, look at that. He jumps up into 3rd in the table now with 5 goals to his name. Still a few adrift from those 2 leading the way, but still very good job in all days. It's a very good job for today, him. Anyway, let's go on then to Game 3 then, shall we? Because it is now the final game of the day for the final match of the day, and it really is a stellar lineup between these two, not least because they know each other so incredibly well. It's going to be Joel, who is debuting in the eFootball Championship Pro Tournament, and unfortunately for him, it hasn't been going quite according to plan, having lost his first game so far, but he can take a little bit of solace in knowing that he's not the only one who's still chasing a big first W after Roxa failed to collect the 3 points earlier in the day. But as I say, they know each other inside and out, because these two were teammates when they won the European Championship in 2021 for Serbia. So there you have it, an extra bit of spice to this one, especially when it comes to the psychological element, with these two teams knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, not only that, when you consider as well, Semra, both of these players coming off of losses in their first games of the eFootball Championship Pro 2022. So both of these players, yes, they know each other very well, but both come in with a bit of a chip on their shoulders, Wes, and they would both love to start their campaigns out and really get some points on the board for their clubs here, because right now they are, I don't want to say dragging their heels, but we certainly expect the most out of both of these players.
Yeah, they'll fully be expecting to scratch their initial gains from the record. They didn't happen. Let's just gloss over them. Let's get down to this. This is their first game. No, of course we can't gloss over the games and the losses that occurred. Again, I would say Stifler again maybe pinched that result from De Jol in that first game, so maybe a little bit unlucky. Roxa, of course, was leading for 70 minutes against Arsenal and then almost got blitzkrieged at the end with a 4 goals demolition that came in. So again, you're looking at these types of players. They'll both be very controlled. They'll both know each other's game plans very well. And as such...
Final game of match day 1 as a whole between Group A and Group B. It has been an exciting road. It's one that took a while to get to, but now that we're here, it has not disappointed one bit. And we end proceedings in Group B today with a Game 3 between 2 Serbian players, 2 international teammates, and 2 huge clubs. This could be very, very telling as to who ends the day, Wes, looking a lot happier. You have Giol for Galatasaray and you have Roxa of Barcelona very close in Group B, and this one could be decisive. I'll come back to you in a second as Roxa's looking to start things off with a bang. The happier of the 2 for now, I can answer that for you, is the man from Barcelona. Roxa with a statement to open up Game 3. It's already 1-0.
He's just had enough, hasn't he? He's I need to score. I need to get going here. And again, we talk about, you know, the goals from kickoff, and we talk about the ways to defend them. Ideally, you just need to drag a player back and just play a very deep line. And it's slightly a rookie error from De Jol. Again, it's Roxa who is a proponent and knows exactly how to make these things go and how to make these things happen. And again, it's Aubameyang who scores. I'm very early on, 2 minutes into the game, and we already have our first goal.
Yes, a goal in the 2nd minute. And surprisingly, only his 2nd of the day, Roxa. We expect him to be much further up the goal-scoring chart, but his immediate goal is to secure the points for Barcelona. Bit of a nightmare start, though, has to be said for De Jol, and he has Aubameyang breaking through as well. He's beaten the goalkeeper and the defender. And this one could be an absolute rout. It's 2 within 5 in-game minutes. This is a welcome, good and proper to Roxa now. His 2nd, it's 2-0.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's a fantastic start from Roxa. Again, in terms of what we talked about, again, you look for these runs, you look for the players to hold their hands out and say, give me the ball. Aubameyang gets it. Goalkeeper doesn't come out and slide to try and take him out. Instead, he tries to stand up and wait for the ball to come to him, and instead, Aubameyang just nicks in front, taps the ball past him. 2-0. Fantastic start for Roxa.
Well, fantastic indeed. Gomez trying to get in behind, but good defensive work. Something tells me that Roxa wants to make up for some lost ground in terms of the goal-scoring charts. When it was announced he joined Barcelona, it seemed like a match made in heaven. Obviously didn't do so well against Dominator earlier on, but that was the past, and this is now, as players to aim for in the box, going closer and closer to goal, and it's cleared off the line. De Jol is well and truly on the ropes here. Gomez with the ball now, though. Just cannot get a sniff of the ball. Galatasaray. This could be a long 90 minutes. De Jong looking for Aubameyang, and the pass. Well, it comes, but I think, has he stayed onside here? Where's the celebrations are going? And it is going to count. It's a 15-minute hat-trick for Aubameyang. 3-0.
Well, all I will say is you won't like him when he's angry. You could sense the palpable anger that was coming out of Roxa after that game against Dominator. He's very much taking it out here. Again, it's almost a P-roll of a through ball. The defenders don't quite latch onto it at all. Leaves it for Aubameyang. Aubameyang tucks it away for 3-0. And as we said before, these players are not going to care how these goals go in. As long as it goes in for their team, they don't care. And of course, if you're presented with that type of opportunity, you're not going to turn it down. 3-0 after 15 minutes. Galatasaray in a bit of shell shock here.
Absolutely no respect being paid by Roxa. It is a great goal to score, but it has to be said, I was expecting a flag. And maybe the entire defense was expecting it too, but it stayed down. I think it was the right back in the end, playing Aubameyang on. So good patience in playing the pass from man on the right-hand side, or the left-hand side of your screen now as they swap over. New signing for Barcelona. Here is Aubameyang, and well, he just seems to have Roxa, the number of the Galatasaray defence on many occasions so far. And for Dijol, it's about, okay, let's not concede anymore and let's try and get one back at least before half-time to give ourselves a chance of salvaging something here.
Well, that's the thing. It's what is the mindset that you go with now? You don't want to concede anymore because you just are conceding at will, but it doesn't appear to make any much difference here.
Yeah, look at Depay and Fati. They are just hounding the Galatasaray defence anytime they have the ball. Roxa one-on-one with Dijol back in defence, and the latter is able to win the ball back, but just no signs of life going forward here for Galatasaray. Fati for Barcelona cannot play the pass. 25 minutes gone, but it's already 3-0. Could be a cricket score by the end of this one if Galatasaray don't show us anything going forward. Here is Van Aanholt. Stunning cross to come in. It's a header at the front post. It'll bounce back towards Dijol as well, but that was the first real chance for Galatasaray, and it was a strong one.
Yeah, more opportunities like that, please, Galatasaray. You might get something out of the game with those, but again, it's going to be a resolute defence from Barcelona here, but ball is struggling to break loose, but it's cleared away again by Roxa. And for the complexities of what we're talking about, even in the realm of the matchups that we're talking about in terms of the 3 games that we've seen so far from these two teams, or at least the 2.5 games that we've seen from these two teams, we've got to think about the complexion it's going to have on the group table at the end of the day.
Here is Fati, skips past his man as well, and Depay is waiting for 4. A fantastic 4 from Roxa, bouncing back in the best way. The new signing finally announces himself to make it 4-0.
Well, not to think you're too greedy, Harry, but you asked for more goals from Roxa, and he's duly delivered. The 4th one into the back of the net. Again, not even half-time yet. I mean, we're talking about the Palma being at the head of the table. You may have a Barca 1-2 by the end of this, considering the rate of goals that we're seeing.
Well, the goal difference is going to look very healthy, isn't it, for the Barcelona squad? And well, it may well be 5. It's Fati's in again, but the goalkeeper does enough, puts his body on the line. 10 in-game minutes until half-time. Confirmation, 5 goals for Roxa now. Here is De Jong. Tackled well and dealt with by Diol. Galatasaray try and break here, but just nothing working right now for the Serbian controlling the Turks. There's 5 minutes to go until half.
Yeah, Roxa in full control here. This is the version of Roxa that we would have anticipated seeing against Arsenal, but now we're seeing it against Galatasaray. Dijol trying to make something work, but again, if you've got a player like Roxa in the confidence that he's now in, it's going to be very, very hard to make something happen.
last attack then of the half, you'd imagine, as we're approaching stoppage time. And here is Gomez running beyond. Is there a chance maybe to salvage one for Galatasaray before the break? The answer to that is no. Barcelona 4, Galatasaray 0. It ends in game 3. Clinical, Wes. Clinical. 5 shots, 5 on target.
Yeah, brilliant play from Roxa, and it's about time in the terms of what we saw from him in the game that we saw against Arsenal. Although he got a goal, he kind of maybe took his foot off the pedal a little bit. Maybe thought, do you know what? I've outlasted 70 minutes. I don't need to do much more. Instead, very much the opposite here, has kept a foot firmly placed to the Barcelona bus floor and is absolutely motoring to another 3 points for his team.
And the second half's underway. Of course, the team switched sides, and, well, the same story is being written here by Roxa of Barcelona. Attack, attack, attack. And now comes forward Diol, still in search of the first goal of this game for Galatasaray, but it has been the same story every single time. Met with a brick wall at the back. Roxa wins the ball now, high up the pitch, looking for Aubameyang, but Nelson stepping up will give Galatasaray possession back. Here comes Diol. And Galatasaray going straight for goal there. We had a quick glimpse of the leading goal-scoring charts, but we'll come back to that as there's a chance maybe for a Galatasaray goal, and it bounces straight back. Second time of asking. Diol is on the board against his compatriots here. It is now 4-1. Surely not, Wes. Surely we need another goal before we start talking about a comeback here. Great taken goal, though.
Yeah. From a gameplay standpoint, yeah, controlled shot, takes a ricochet, is then, it's a little bit casual in terms of how that's been tried to be cleared, as we've seen it from the perfect angle. It's a good save, and again, it falls to somebody in the box. If you're at home, you are literally just spamming the shoot button as much as you can. So you're just hoping that it goes in. We saw opportunities yesterday, even for Monaco in the last game.
Well, Aubameyang's in behind, and the flag has stayed down to make it 5. You hear the giggles, you hear the apologies from Roxa about the mistake moments previous, but the 4-goal lead reinstated in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, unbelievable in terms of that. I was no sooner were we going to start talking about open chances that, could have been squandered from first-time shots, till we end up having to talk about a goal. Again, you're talking about the proficiency of goals from kickoff. Again, it's very much on the board from where it was there. It's a collision where the goalkeepers come out. Both players are on the floor. It's squirmed clear. But again, we talk about it. You've got to have a player that runs back to at least try and protect that potential kickoff. And again, falls kindly to a man on the right-hand side in Memphis Depay. He's behind the ball, so he is onside. And as a result, he's got a very easy and open opportunity to score.
Yes!
It means a lot to him to be creeping up the goal-scoring table after the disappointment earlier on, losing 4-1 to Indominator. It's not the fashion that he would have liked to introduce himself to Barcelona fans. This is a bit more like it, I think Roxa will be saying to himself. High expectations when you join a club such as Barcelona, and there it is, 6 goals after 2 games. That is not bad at all. Diol, though, has to lick his wounds now and start from scratch. But for Roxa, he wants more goals. Braithwaite looking long for Dembele. Barbol is doing his best to get the ball through, but again, that has been very telling of Diol's day so far. Here it is, the leading goal scorers. We saw there, Roxa up into the top 3 is Dembele. It may well be more. 2 Barcelona players in the top 3. You called it, Wes. There was always an opportunity to do that, and there could be more as he wins the header at the front post. Barcelona look a dangerous outfit this season.
Yeah, he only needs one more. He only needs one more goal to put himself as a number 2. And as we said, for every single attack that we've seen from Barcelona, they just look like scoring at every single opportunity, and it's been a dominant performance from Roxa.
And there's still 15 in-game minutes to go. Seems to be winning every tackle, every opportunity to win the ball is being taken with both hands. And well, Depay goes to ground. Solid tackle though, it has to be said. It most certainly has been a fascinating match day today. Plenty of goals scored as we tick down our final game of our final match of match day 1. Right now it is looking dominant from the new signing for Barcelona, but look how many Galatasaray shirts are forward here. But again, it's Roxa's defensive capabilities. He knows when to step in and how to position his players.
Yeah, the issue becomes with all of these Galatasaray players running forward, which I'm sure it's to maybe try and keep the goal difference as limited as possible. We're trying to get more goals. The issue with that is it leaves so many bodies out of position for Roxa that if he can play in between those defensive and midfield phases, it gives him every bit of room to potentially score another goal.
In search of number 6, but shepherded out of play. I mean, I dread to think the goal difference that Barcelona possess at the end of this match day, if things stay the same, of course. It's going to make for ugly reading, I feel, for the other teams here in Group B. But for now, though, here is De Jong, and, well, Braithwaite is waiting, and it's good saving, but, well, it goes in anyway. We've seen a few of those today. Yeah, Marco say there, one more the Palmer, and I'm chasing you down. It's number 6, 7 on the season. Absolutely wonderful from the new signing, Roxa.
It's like we said, leaving bodies behind, and that it's picking the right passes. The pass could have easily gone left, and it could have easily had more bodies behind the ball. Instead, it goes to De Jong. It then attracts the attention of the centre half. It comes across. It's then Braithwaite. It's a decent save for the goalkeeper, but Dembele's there ahead of the defender. And as we said, it's a Barca 1-2.
It's a shame we didn't quite get the soundbite there of him saying, one more, the Palmer, one more, and I'm coming for you. Friendly competition, of course, between club mates for Diol, though. This will be one to forget. 7 goals on the season.
There will be 3 minutes at a time.
And there may well be more to come. Memphis Depay now. For Roxa, who can he find? Not a teammate, unfortunately. Something tells me, Wes, you'll be speaking to a much happier Marco after this game. As we are now in the final moments, the referee puts an end to Galatasaray's misery. Barcelona jubilant. We'll take a look at the stats, the tail of the tape. Barcelona 6, Galatasaray 1.
Yeah, and it's a phenomenal performance from Roxa. Again, using